Hi guys, welcome to the new video. So today we'll take a look on last replay, that is a 2v2 with SoulsKeeper. Then still have a few more 2v2 replays here with Fioris and Urakar, and also some more games here. We'll see if we'll take a look on that. But this will be the last replay with SoulsKeeper, so let's take a look on this. We have Dark Side Forest again, and once again 75% game speed. I'm playing Fallen again, so everything pretty standard. And actually SoulsKeeper is once again of course beast in this game, but we have Folsson and Aegis against us, so two enemies we didn't see yet in this replays, I think. And as you can see, they are both playing Fallen, so this game has 3 Fallens. SoulsKeeper the only beast here, so we'll see how we'll utilize that advantage, because of course you could say that Fallen is maybe better than beast overall. But we have to keep in mind that in multiplayer, I mean in team play, it's a little bit different, because it's actually an advantage to have multiple different races, because you can get of course different army compositions since you have more units available. So it's always better to have different races if you can do that, instead of just stacking 2 Fallen or 2 Beasts or 2 Empires. But yeah, once again, pretty simple opener here. Of course, going for 2 hives, trying to block the entrance path. Aegis actually not making the second hive yet, even though his resources, I don't know what he was trying to do here now, but yeah, a little bit late, but still managed to build it. And Folsson, of course, the same. As I said, with Fallen, you don't really have too many different options unless you go for immediate expansion. SoulsKeeper still building this base in the back, not really closing the entrance as he usually does, which I still don't think is too good of an idea, but it works most of the time unless they really decide to rush you with everything in the early game, both of them together. I'm already making my Souls Trap, of course going for a timing push with Nightmares as usually. But we see Aegis making a tower. This is his usual gameplay style. Aegis usually goes for a tower early on, and then tries to go for Avengers as soon as possible, also making at least 1 base usually. So right now, of course, making Incubator, probably make some Hive Spitters and then try to transfer to those Avengers really quickly. On the other hand, we have Folsson going for Souls Trap, so we'll see if he wants to go also for Avengers just without even making any Hive Spitters, or if he wants to potentially go for Nightmares as well, as I'm doing. SoulsKeeper, of course, making a Goblin Hut, just trying to get some early Goblin Riders. Yeah, Goblin Riders are like really this weird unit against Fallen early game, because on one side you are really strong because you have splash damage, so you can really quickly splash down huge amounts of Hive Stingers. So you are kinda counter to them, but at the same time they are counter to you because they have pike damage and you take more from pike damage. So it's like a counter against counter. It really depends on the amounts of units you have. Of course you can go, you can just make Goblin Hunters instead of Goblin Riders. Then you will still have the splash damage and everything. You will just not be taking more damage from pike. But we have to keep in mind that you will have only like 75 HP instead of 300. Yeah, 85 HP I think. Let's actually take a look. Yeah, 85 HP instead of 300, so that's of course a huge loss. So even though you are taking double damage from pike, you will still be more tanky on the Boron than without him. And also Goblin Riders have 1 more damage than Goblin Hunters, so you are getting even more damage from this. So overall I think it's still more worth it to get the Goblin Riders, but you can still make a combination of Goblin Riders and Goblin Hunters if you are trying to fight a huge amount of Hive Stingers. Also Goblin Hunters are more mobile, so you can also try to utilize that maybe for better micromanagement. Also the units are smaller. But as you can see, SoulsKeeper is already going for Dark Archer as well, and also making a Weapon Master. Folsson actually already has a Vengeance Hall and is making 1 tower in the back as well, while also having 1 in the front, probably expecting some air, and immediately making a Chamber of the Avenger. He's actually making another Reformer here, because he made this one early in the front. And now making Vengeance Hall as well, while also having the Incubator and some Hive Spitters now. So as you can see, both of them are basically immediately rushing Avengers. which is really hard to defeat, but we'll see how we'll do with that. I'm actually saying that they might be going double hive guards because we didn't really see any pressure from them, and actually not too many units too. So I was kinda expecting this option as well. But I won't really change anything. I can just fight the air with my nightmares. Maybe we can add some towers, which we are not doing yet, but we'll see. SoulsKeeper just making his beast cherry. Or flying hive stingers, yeah, of course, just any air I was expecting. But at least he's making a totem now. We'll see if I will make one hive, one lightning spire here, just to protect my harvesters a little bit. I should be definitely scouting a little bit more, but I have at least some scouts on the crossroads, which are definitely making sure that I am not getting pushed. It would be nice to have at least one here as well, so we see if SoulsKeeper is also fine. But yeah, Aegis is also building his Chamber of the Avenger now. He doesn't have second Vengeance Hall, but actually Folsson also doesn't have that. He's making a second Lightning Spire near his harvesters, so they were definitely also expecting some air pressure. Now he's finishing his first Avenger, going for some scouting with his Hive Stingers. Aegis doesn't even have any Hive Stingers, so he cannot really be scouting with them. But right now I decided to finally start pushing a little bit. Unfortunately, it was at that exact moment where Folsson left his town, but hopefully he didn't see these nightmares. Immediately when I saw his Hive Stinger, I decided to retreat with them. So he only sees my Hive Stinger and he doesn't know what strategy I'm going with, so I don't think he saw my nightmares. So now I planned an attack, of course. SoulsKeeper is a little bit slower army, so he's saying that I need to wait for him, which is fine. He's once again making 2 beast trays, already producing a first troll, also making some witches. So now is the perfect time for a timing push. I'd live with that one troll, but even if he will be a little bit behind, we should be still fine. I'm pinging on Folsson, so we can start pushing here, which doesn't really matter. To be honest, both of them will have at least one Avenger. Folsson maybe 2 if we come here. Also making a second Vengeance Hall, but all of these Hive Splitters will be also a problem. Also, especially when since we don't have any trolls yet, or we'll have only one. So I actually think it probably doesn't matter too much, but it was probably a little bit better to attack on Folsson, even though there are 2 towers and 2 Avengers. So many Hive Splitters would be probably more dangerous. But there are no expansions from anyone, so we don't really need to rush anything. Folsson going for Mental Equilibrium for some extra HP on Avengers. Now we kind of wasted some of his Hive Stingers. We'll of course try to utilize the Avengers here. But since we have so many Hive Stingers, we should be able to get at least few of them there and just start dealing pike damage to them. Of course, the Frost Shields are also making it a little bit better for us. Aegis immediately moving there, but the question is what he can do. There is so many towers in the back that I actually won't be really able to push on these Avengers and kill them, which is really unfortunate. But Folsson is also coming there with his warriors. Now he decided to retreat. It's really hard to push against the Avengers like this. Now they actually managed to push us back because there is so many units. SoulsKeeper actually decided to fight here. I don't think that was the smartest idea since this troll was not there yet. We should have definitely retreated a little bit. He was actually standing with him here for a while as well, but as you can see, all the Hive Splitters just died to Goblin Riders anyways, so we didn't need to worry about anything. I'm just bringing more and more nightmares. Right now we don't have any front line, we don't have actually anything to kill these Avengers, but we still destroyed at least this front part of the Folsson's town. I mean, that was not the most important thing for him, because he still has his 2 Vengeance Halls. Together with Chamber of the Avenger, he still has his full income and also ton of towers. So he just needs to rebuild 1 hive, so we can maybe make an incubator or something. Or get some Hive Stingers. Yeah, but even with Nightmares you can deal some damage to the Avengers. You have really good movement speed, you can even use the Wind Wall. Yeah, you of course need a Nail Scratch upgrade. And then you can actually chase down the Avengers pretty decently. Also, if you have enough of trolls, the Avengers won't be really able to micromanage out of those rocks anymore too effectively. So even though they have some of Avengers which are pretty strong, I think we will be able to push this. Also I can just produce some more Hive Stingers, get some extra pike damage. Unfortunately I don't have flying Hive Stingers because I don't even have Incubator. So obviously I don't have Valkyrie as well. And Metamorphosis upgrade. Right now I used the Wind Walk, I'm trying to push on him. But I have really low HP on all of my Nightmares, so now I will definitely need to retreat a little bit. Maybe I will bring a Summoner and get some Unholy Ground here. We'll see. But yeah, he's still accumulating more Avengers, even though he's also losing some, so basically staying at pretty similar number. But we still have Trolls, ton of Trolls, so we can at least start shooting the buildings down, even if the Avengers will be kiting us. I'm getting more and more units. Aegis is going for expansion now, I don't think I scouted this. But to be honest, he doesn't really have too many units. He just sacrificed some Avengers there and also invested too many resources into his Hive Spitters, which was not the smartest move, so now Aegis is definitely pretty behind actually, so you can see it on the population, yeah, that even Folsson has more population than Aegis. And as you can see, I have Hive Stingers with Wind Wall here, so they are pretty fast. We can utilize them well. As you can see, I'm just using the Nightmares in this situation to shield the Trolls. I'm doing that manually, so it doesn't autocast on my units. And that's definitely also helping here in this fight against the Avengers. Because when they have the free extra armor, it's definitely pretty strong. So Folsson is definitely taking at least some damage here. Using Avenger from time to time. We still didn't go for a single expansion, which might not be the best idea. Especially SoulsKeeper has a ton of resources. I'm still trying to pump my resources into more units, but SoulsKeeper definitely could have made like even 2 expansions there. Just to gain some advantage. Especially when Aegis also made expansion, but as I said, we didn't know about that. Oh yeah, now we need to one-shot these Hive Stingers. I still didn't get a Summoner there, now I'm finally moving there. Realized that I need to get an Unholy Ground. I probably lost some Nightmares here. But he's still losing more Avengers now. He also lost his second Vengeance Hall. So even though he has resources, he's not really able to produce anymore. He needs to make some new buildings in the back, which will take some time. Yeah, I'm using my healthy Nightmare here to tank a little bit. So hopefully SoulsKeeper can get some damage out. And then finally making the Deformer here. Yeah, Aegis is making another 2 Vengeance also, now he'll have 3 of them. But first he needs to fill up his new expansion with more Harvesters, of course. I'm just letting SoulsKeeper do his job here. He destroyed all the Vengeance Halls of Folsson. So now, before he can finish this... Yeah, he doesn't even have Hive, so... He just needs to rebuild his whole town. I don't think he can do much anymore. Aegis still has only 4 Avengers, so he'll be shooting from here, but maybe they will kill some Trolls, but eventually we should be able to push Folsson here. I think I should have been pushing here with SoulsKeeper. He just lost 60% of his Trolls for nothing. But as I said, I wanted to heal first, because I had the option to heal now, basically for free. Folsson had basically no way of actually countering us in this situation. So I didn't feel like we really needed to rush anything. Maybe Folsson actually should have sent his resources to Aegis at this point. I don't think he can really recover. And Aegis definitely could have been producing more units if he had some extra gems at least. And Folsson also has a ton of gold, so I think he should have sent everything to Aegis, or at least 80% of that. Aegis should have made another expansion between them, and then just produce more and more Avengers. I think that would have worked. Yeah, I also should have definitely transferred to some Flying Hive Stingers, try to drop on the Avengers and kill them that way. But as you can see, even like this, we were able to push that. There is only one last Avenger from Folsson that will really quickly die to these Trolls, and also my Nightmares. And right now he's starting to produce some Hive Stingers, but that won't really do anything anymore. There were also some Hive Stingers from Aegis. SoulsKeeper finally went for the expansion, but Folsson had one scout here. Doesn't seem like SoulsKeeper will be able to do anything with that. He's just producing more and more Trolls from free bestiaries, so that's definitely good. He's not really making anything else. I'm just making nightmares and he's making trolls. From time to time I add some Heistingers for scouting, but outside of that we don't really care. Now pretty decent armies coming from Aegis, but as you can see, 2 of the Avengers are basically dead. Actually, yeah, some Heistingers were here coming from Folsson. I wasn't really paying attention to that. But I had some Heistingers coming from the back, distracted these Avengers, so I had to take some time to reposition at least. Once again, manually shielding all the trolls, bringing some Heistingers to distract the enemy Avengers, coming with some new nightmares, just attacking from 2 sides, so they are not utilizing their splash to attack all of our units at once. Folsson trying to accumulate some units here, but he actually even lost his main base. Yeah, I mean, Folsson is definitely dead there. And as you can see, nightmares can still do pretty decent against Avengers if there is not too many of them. Not too many of the Avengers. I'm definitely losing some units here, but we have to keep in mind that the Avenger is much more expensive than Nightmare, so this was still worth it. And we are still 2v1, so I don't really need to worry about anything. A ton of Stingers coming here. I don't think SoulsKeeper really has an answer for that. I think Folsson should have to keep pushing here. Kept pushing here, but of course I also came here now, so I would kill the Stingers anyways. Folsson doesn't have income, so even though he had a ton of resources, he's just losing them right now. Of course now we will push. Once again, shooting all the units in the front. Taking basically no damage, and at this point I think it should be GG at any moment, even though as you can see that it's still 23% of the replay, so they will probably not surrender anytime soon. I think Aegis will probably keep trying even 1v2 since he has 2 bases. But yes, SoulsKeeper actually decided to go for a base here, since this was destroyed by this Hive Stinger. Of course at this point Aegis definitely has more resources. This expansion already paid off, even though he doesn't have the maximum amount of harvesters there. He's getting some value from it, but as you can see the main problem for him are gems, not gold. He should be definitely producing some Hive Stingers, probably flying ones. He already has incubators, so making a Valk Cocoon and 1 upgrade wouldn't be that big of a problem, and he could definitely utilize this gold in a really good way. If he dropped 30 Hive Stingers on this, it would probably kill us alone. And if he also has so many Avengers, I think he still had a chance. Fortunately for us, he didn't really utilize all of his resources in the best way possible. As you can see, I'm pretty behind the whole game. I don't have too much population, I don't have any resources, I don't have expansion. Basically all I'm doing is just spamming more nightmares to support my ally at this point. He has just enough trolls which are good enough for us. And as you can see, I'm just making upgrades for my nightmares, healing my nightmares on unholy ground, and just trying to accumulate enough mana to shield the trolls, while also bringing some extra Hive Stingers there to distract the enemy army. Yeah, I'm just scouting here once again for SoulsKeeper. Not even... I mean, there was Scout of Folsson, he probably retreated him anyways, but since he left, or actually died... actually he left, he had 1 more building here I think, or that got destroyed. Yeah, he got destroyed, okay. He got destroyed, so of course the Hive Stinger, even if he was here still, he would go grey. But yeah, I have 1 scout in this location as well. Aegis finally also making some Hive Stingers as I mentioned, but they are not flying ones, so that won't be too dangerous if we can micromanage well, and since I have this scout here, hopefully I will see him. And I'm actually going this way because we don't want to be pushing through the same direction. I was not really paying attention too much to this, but hopefully I will still be able to micromanage this out. At least 1 nightmare was saved, okay. Here I lost some units, but I mainly wanted to keep these nightmares in this area as well to shield the trolls. Right now I should be able to push to Aegis. Yes, ton of Avengers. I don't have too many Stingers left, but if we fight together here, yeah, we were kinda... we're not micromanaging this the best. SoulsKeeper was a little bit too in the back, and I was not really fighting with all of my units together. So I lost all of my Hive Stingers, but to be honest, with so many trolls, we should be able to kill the Avengers anyways. I'll just run around to once again provide some shields, even though I don't have too much mana left. I just need 60 to cast at least one shield with each of the nightmares, so I can definitely get some shields out. And as you can see, most of the Avengers are already dead. There's only 5 left, 2 of them basically already dead. One is half HP, 2 of them are basically full HP. But yeah, you can see the population now. SoulsKeeper has more than me and Aegis together, so this is definitely easy. And finally, I also decided to go for expansion once I ran out of resources in my main base. So that was obviously forced, but yeah, Aegis doesn't even have income anymore. SoulsKeeper even sending his Goblin Riders in the front line. Yeah, Goblin Riders are basically totally useless against Avengers, because you have, you have swing damage, which is not reduced in any way. For example, if you have Elf Rangers, they have pierce damage, so it's only 10%, but the swing is full, but it's only 7 or 9 damage if you have it upgraded like this, which is just too low to actually kill anything. The Avengers are really tanky, one of the highest HP in the game, so definitely not really killable with Goblin Riders, but once you have Trolls, it's actually pretty easy. Or I mean, Avengers can still kite out Trolls, but once we have enough of the Trolls, it's usually basically impossible to micromanage all of your Avengers from all the rocks that will be flying on you. But yeah, he eventually calls it GG, he leaves, and we can go check the results. I actually got the most kill in this game. Aegis and SoulsKeeper basically same at 70. Folsson a little bit behind on 50, but of course he was getting pressured the whole game. Then with researches, me and Aegis on 6, SoulsKeeper 2, Folsson 1. And here you can see the resources. Of course I didn't have expansion. Aegis had expansion for a long time, but of course now in the end he didn't have any more income, while SoulsKeeper had another income, so he was actually able to catch up pretty well. But still, Aegis had definitely the most resources, both gold and gems. I was second on gems, SoulsKeeper basically the same. On gold I was a little bit behind, but didn't really matter that much. So yeah, really nice game, of course a little bit longer, almost 30 minutes, but it was definitely interesting. They both went for really quick Avengers. We still managed to push them, but it was definitely quite difficult, so a really nice game. And once again, it was a little bit different than the other games we saw. So yeah, thanks for watching and take care, guys.